Well, everyone, it's time for our next battery comparison this time around between the iPhone 15, 14, iPhone 13, iPhone 12, and iPhone 11. So all these iPhones are currently charged up to 100%. All the apps are cleared out in the background of all of them, and they're all at max brightness. So if you go and scroll into here, you can see they all have their max brightness on. So these are basically all the base model iPhones Apple has made for several generations and all the base model iPhones that are currently supported with software. Now, the way this test is going to work is I'm going to go ahead and just leave them on their main panels for maybe an hour or two. I'll check back in every seldomly or every once in a while. We'll play some games, we'll kind of do some stuff here and there. The goal is to, whatever I do on one iPhone, I do exactly on the other iPhone. So we're basically going to let these things die out. They all have 6.1-inch panels. So far, it is very evident to me that these iPhones definitely have brighter panels than these two. I don't know if I notice a big difference between these three panels. The 14 to me actually looks kind of the brightest, to be honest. I don't know if that's just my eyes or something, but we'll check back in every hour or so. Few things to keep in mind too. The 11 definitely has more battery degradation than all these other iPhones, and so does the 12, the 13, the 14. These iPhones should theoretically die out faster than the iPhone 15 because these ones have smaller size batteries, technically speaking, because of the battery degradation. So we'll check back in about an hour or so and basically see where we're at. Okay, so we are now at the 1 hour mark and we are at varying battery lives. So the iPhone 11 is at 85%, iPhone 12 is at 89%, iPhone 13 is also at 89%, iPhone 14 is at 91%, and the iPhone 15 is at 93%. So varying battery lives, I will definitely tell you so far, I'm pretty much exactly what we're expected. We're exactly where I thought we were going to be. The iPhone 11 at 85%, I mean, like, it's the oldest iPhone. This one's probably going to die first. These two being the same is very interesting. I still don't know why my iPhone 12 is giving me better battery life than my iPhone 13. I think it's a very, very interesting conundrum that we're in. I am curious to see what's going to end up happening with the 13 and the 12 towards the end of this comparison. These two are kind of interesting too. I think the iPhone 15 is going to be number one, but it is quite interesting to see how close the iPhone 14 still kind of is compared to the iPhone 15, considering this one's a year old, battery degradation, and all those things. So I'm going to let them kind of chill out here for like another hour or so, probably just on their displays, and we'll check back in, and then we'll see exactly where we're at that point. Well, everyone, we're now at the 2 hour mark, and you can see that the iPhone 11 is at 66%, iPhone 12 is at 73%, iPhone 13 also at 73%, iPhone 14 at 80%, and the iPhone 15 at 81%. So some very interesting stuff that's going on here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and essentially kind of round this out. So these two are the same, these two are roughly around the same, and the iPhone 11 is basically in its own corner. What we're going to do now is we're going to let these iPhones basically die out, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and load up Temple Run 2, and we're going to go ahead and see how long it's going to take for these things to die out from there. So I'm going to load up Temple Run 2 in the background of all these devices. Again, we'll check back in here, every once in a while and basically see where we're at. So we'll check back in a little bit and see where we're at from there. Okay, had to swap locations, but we are now at the 3 hour mark, and we are at other varying battery life capacities right now. So with the iPhone 11, we're at 44%, iPhone 12, we're at 66%, iPhone 13, we're at 65%, the iPhone 14 now, after playing Temple Run 2 for an hour, is at 67%, and the iPhone 15 all the way at the end is at 75%. So again, we are at varying battery lives here. I'm not 100% too sure, again, where we're at in terms of which one's going to last the longest. I think the 15 is definitely going to last the longest, but these three are the ones that are kind of throwing me off a little bit. So we're seeing that the battery lives are kind of coming closer and closer together, like with each other. So we're going to let them kind of die out again once more. So I'm going to let them sit here for like another hour, playing Temple Run 2, and we'll check back in about another hour and see where we're at. So another hour has passed. We're at the 4 hour mark now, and all of our battery lives again are at varying capacities. So the iPhone 11 is at 23%, the iPhone 12 is at 52%, massive difference here. The iPhone 13 is at 48%, the iPhone 14 is at 53%, and the iPhone 15 all the way at the end is at 61%. So I'm not really too sure what happened between these. They kind of shifted a lot, which is very, very interesting. So we're going to go ahead and go back into Temple Run 2, and we're going to go ahead and basically get them on par again. We'll let them run another hour. I think the iPhone 11 might actually die. These two are kind of similar. The 13 is dying faster, and the 15 all the way at the end. We'll just kind of see what happens. It seems like Temple Run 2 kind of affects all these at different levels. So we'll check back in a little bit and see where we are. So we're now at the 5 hour and 11 minute mark, and the iPhone 11 actually ended up dying at the 5 hour and 6 minute mark about 5 minutes ago. We are at varying battery lives on the rest of these iPhones though. So you can see on the iPhone 12, we're at 34%, iPhone 13 27%, iPhone 14 36%, and the iPhone 15 at 43%. So very good stuff. I'm very happy we are at different battery lives here. So we'll go back into Temple Run 2 once again and kind of let them die out from there once again as always. And then we'll check back in about another hour and see where we're at. So we are now at the 6 hour mark, and surprisingly the iPhone 13 just got a little pop-up saying I'm at low power mode now, or if I want to turn it on. Hopping out of all these, you can see that the iPhone 13 or iPhone 12 is at 21%, iPhone 13 at 10%, iPhone 14 at 24%, and the iPhone 15 at 31%. So once again, we're just going to let them die out again. I might just leave them on their front screen one more time because it's kind of fun to see how they die out on their main displays. So we'll just go ahead and leave them on their main display one more time and just kind of see what happens. So I'll check back in about another hour and see where we're at. Okay, everyone, we're now at the 6 hour and 58 minute mark, and the iPhone 11 already died a while ago. The iPhone 12 was at 7%. The iPhone 13 died at the 6 hour and 51 minute mark. The iPhone 14 is at 13%, and the iPhone 15 at the end is at 20%. So once again, the iPhone 12 surprisingly did better here. I'm not too sure why that happened. I guess we're going to do some more tests in the future and kind of see what happens there. But so far, the iPhone 15 is still ahead as I expected. We're going to let them again stay here for a little bit of time. We'll check back in a little bit of time from now and basically see where we're at. Okay, so we are at the 7 hour and 42 minute mark, and the iPhone 12 just ended up dying here. Lasted almost an hour longer exactly than the iPhone 13. The iPhone 14 is at 4%, and the iPhone 15 is at 12%. So I'm pretty sure we can just go ahead and kind of end this comparison here. I think we kind of get the idea of which one is going to be the longer lasting one. The iPhone 15, theoretically speaking, is going to be giving you better battery life in pretty much every single way. But it isn't like a crazy amount different than the iPhone 14. I feel like the iPhone 14 is still giving you pretty good battery life, and the 14 is still giving you noticeably better battery life than the iPhone 11, 12, and 13. So I think at the end of the day, if you're wanting to pick up any iPhone with the best battery life from the base models, the iPhone 15 is definitely giving you there, but the iPhone 14 is still doing a really decent job for what you're getting. And I do think that's like another big thing to kind of keep in mind there too. So in terms of that, that kind of covers up this battery comparison. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.